All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to 5 Steps to Launch Your Next Music Project. We'll get started in a minute or two. If you would, just type in the chat where you're from. I'd like to see where everybody is from. So get used to using that chat on the right. Going to be asking you questions, and you're going to be asking me questions. So, hello. Let us know where you're from. Vancouver, Scotland, Texas. Wow, there's a bunch of you from Scotland, Netherlands, London, Boston. Wow. Hey, all you folks from Scotland, you should be getting together. Quebec, hello. Florida, Prague, wonderful. Belfast, hello, Sean. Tony from Liverpool, now Florida. Very cool. Say hi, everyone. Let us know where you're from. We'll get started in just a minute. Chile, hello, my friend. Kansas, Romania, Moscow, Sergey. Hello, Uruguay. If you can hear me, say, hey, Dave. Okay? Once I see that, we will get started. Type where you're from, and if you can hear me, say, hey, Dave. Thank you very much. All right. So we're going to get going here. All right, cool, everyone. Welcome. Here we go. Welcome, everyone, to 5 Steps to Launching Your Next Music Project. In the next hour, I'm going to show you the steps that you can take to execute your next music project, whatever that may be. And I'm going to show you a system that is called the Music Business Accelerator that you can use over and over again to launch all your music projects and help you accelerate your career. My name is Dave Kusek, and I'm the founder of the New Artist Model, and I'm a mentor to literally thousands of musicians, performers, producers, songwriters, and business people all over the world. And I'm really, really super excited to be here with you guys today. And thank you for coming here. If you have any trouble with the presentation, refresh your screen, turn off your cell phones, please, get out your notebooks, and stick around for the next hour because you're going to learn so much that you can use today for your own music projects. And you're going to get a free ebook containing 6 strategies to release your album, all for free, just because you're here today on the webinar. Now, on the chat, on the right of the screen, or wherever it is on your phone, if you're on a phone, type in your questions as we go along. And I'm going to try and answer as many as I can a little bit later on in the webinar. With me today is Chelsea Ira, who is going to help collect your questions, and you'll meet her a little bit later on in the program. Now, before we get started, I want to tell you a little bit more about myself and what I've accomplished in the music business and why I'm the best person to help you launch your next music project and build your music career. Now, I started the first music software company called Passport Music Software and was one of the people who helped develop the MIDI standard and bring it to market. How many of you use MIDI in your music? If you do, type that in the chat, okay? I mean, we had no idea how popular MIDI would become. I'm also the co-author of one of the best-selling music business books called The Future of Music that we published in 2005, which predicted the rise of streaming, sites like Spotify, and things like the iPhone and Siri. And I've been working with musicians all of my life. And you know, the thing that frustrates me more than anything else is seeing really talented people not get where they want to go. And that's the reason that I'm here today. And that's the reason that I created this program and this webinar, because there is a system for success in music. And that's what I'm going to show you today. Now, I spent 14 years teaching music business at Berklee College of Music here in Boston, developing the very first online music school anywhere, which grew into the world's largest music school called Berklee Online. Man, that experience was just incredibly awesome. We pioneered how to teach music online, and we helped tens of thousands of people. But, you know, at the same time, I watched a lot of musicians spend unbelievable amounts of money on courses, some people going way into debt to get access to high quality training. So going back live here for you guys, I'm going to switch back and forth a little bit. So a few years ago, I left my job as CEO of Berklee Online, and I started the New Artist Model online music school. I wanted to create something that would be very accessible, very affordable, and very practical, grounded in the reality of the way the music business is today, not the way it used to be. We've been constantly refining and improving our approach over the past 4 years, working with literally thousands of musicians from around the world. And I hope some of our members are on the call today. And I got to tell you, I'm really, really psyched to be here with you today. And I'm very grateful that you've decided to spend, you know, a little bit of time here with me, because I'm very excited what this training can do for you as a musician. Today, I'm going to take you inside the New Artist Model Music Business Accelerator course. This is a proven system for success in music, and I'm going to take you right through it. You know, right now today, you're going to get inside the course that only normally my members get to see. And I'm doing this because success these days in the music business really requires a very thorough understanding of the business. And so I'm going to give you a little taste of what my members get every day. And I'm going to pull specific tips and strategies taken straight from the course that you can immediately use to launch your next music project, whatever that may be. So right now, I want you all to start thinking like a musical entrepreneur, right? Put your entrepreneur hat on. And I want you to see how you can use these tips that I'm going to share with you to build your own career and to launch your projects. Now I'm going to click over to the presentation that we prepared, and I'm going to show you inside the program, and I'm going to give you the 5 steps to launch your next music project. So just give me a second to do that. All right. I'm going to go off camera for a second so that you guys can see the slides better. Okay, now, first I want to make sure that you stick around to the very end of this webinar, because as I said, I'm going to be taking your questions, and I have this very valuable ebook to give all of you for free. It's a launch ebook that goes through 6 different ways to release your music. So first I'm going to give you 5 tips to launch your next project, and then you're going to get an ebook. It's all about releasing music. And I'm going to make you a very special offer to join me in the New Artist Model Music Business Accelerator course, along with some bonuses that you're only going to get because you're spending your time with me here today, working on accelerating your music and launching your next music project. So let's jump in, and let me show you this training that I'm so very, very proud of. You know, we've had so many different musicians go through the program, and all of them have been working on different kinds of music projects and have had very different career paths and goals, like Saskia here. Saskia is a singer-songwriter from the UK, and she used the New Artist Model to help guide her as she quit her job to pursue music full-time. As a result, she's managed to build a very comfortable living for herself through music. She's done 3 successful crowdfunding campaigns and a tour in Europe. And Jensen Reed. Jensen is one half of the duo that brought us the viral video called Back to the 90s that got tens of millions of views. And I'm going to tell you more about that in just a little while. And Lee Norman. Lee just got back into music as a second career after working in commercial real estate, and has now gone from playing music in his bedroom to building an audience, to blogging regularly with his fans, and releasing his first EP. Now, you know, all these people and many more like them started really developing their musical careers by taking the New Artist Model training and participating in webinars like this one. And you know, the one thing that we found with the people in the course that were having the most success is that they were concentrating on one music project at a time. So now it's time to talk about you and your music. That's why you're here, right? So here's the question I have for all of you. What is your next music project? Type it right into the chat right now. Let's see what everybody is up to, okay? Just go ahead and type it in. What is your next project that you want to do? Now, when we say project, it could be anything. Your project could be to release an album, an EP, a single, a music video. That's probably something a lot of you are working toward, right? That's what it looks like. Your project could be to license your music, maybe getting your music placed on TV or establishing yourself as a jingle writer for ads or getting your song cut by another recording artist. Maybe your project might be to book a bunch of shows as an indie artist or a tour or a series of house concerts or get into the college circuit. Your project could be to start a home studio or a production business where you're trying to attract clients who want their music recorded and mixed and mastered. Or maybe you want to start your own label or some other kind of a music company. And your project could even be to raise money, a crowdfunding campaign. And let me tell you, planning a successful crowdfunding campaign, that's a whole project in and of itself. Whatever you want to do, you can use the steps that I'm going to present today, the 5 steps to launching your next music project. Everything I'm going to show you is part of our Music Business Accelerator course. And it all starts right now with step number 1, which is planning. Planning is always the first step to successfully executing any launch. It doesn't matter if you're planning something as small as a single song release, or if your project is as big as a world tour or building a production company. You need a solid plan set out from the start to have any chance of success. But you know, a good plan isn't just laying out a few steps. So, you know, if this were your plan to release a single, most likely you're going to end up confused and not sure what to do next and underwhelmed by the response that you get. This is a lousy plan for a song release. Instead, your plan wants to be really detailed, and it needs to be based on specific goals. It needs to take into account where you are right now in your career and what you have to work with. You want to understand all the steps it takes to be successful, and you need to have specific deadlines. That's the basis of a solid plan. So let me jump inside the course and let you see what my members have access to and how you can start thinking more like a musical entrepreneur. Here's what it looks like inside the program when you just get started. And here's how you start to formulate a plan for every project that you undertake. The first step of a plan and the first module of the course is all about planning and setting your goals, your dream. Where do you want to be, and what does success look like for you, right? Because that's different for all kinds of people. And as you can see right here in this lesson from the course, we teach you how to think like a musical entrepreneur. And we give you a lot of examples and case studies and videos with examples of what's working for real people in the world. For example, we just added sections on how to get on Spotify playlists and how to use Facebook Live. These case studies are a really important part of the way we teach, because I'm going to make it real easy for you to translate the strategies and ideas we present to how they work in the real world with stories that you're going to remember. This case study in particular is from Jack and Natalie of Pomplamoose, who used YouTube videos to build just a massive audience and land licensing and TV commercial deals for companies like Hyundai and others. Because this training that I'm showing you isn't just a bunch of vague theories. Instead, I'm going to give you practical examples that you can use every single day. Okay, here is the approach to planning that we lay out in our Music Business Accelerator. First, you need to define your project and your elevator pitch. What exactly are you trying to do and why? What and why? That's the essence of a good elevator pitch. And I'm bringing up the concept of an elevator pitch. How do you convince somebody in just a few minutes that what you're working on is the coolest thing ever and get them excited about what you're doing and want to help you? You know, honestly, if you can't convince your friends and family in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you probably won't be able to convince your fans, to buy your music, or clients to pay money to work with you, or a music supervisor to license your music. So you follow this method and you develop your elevator pitch, and then you practice it over and over again. It's all about the what and the why. So for example, for a music licensing project, some of you have that. What songs are you trying to license? What kind of productions are you targeting? Who are the decision makers involved? How would you describe your song? What keywords could you use to describe it? What other bands or composers does it sound like? What genre is it in? All of this info gets into your pitch and will help the music supervisor understand just what it is that you're offering them. And then there's the why. Why should they license your song instead of all the other music out there? Why is it perfect for their production? Why are you the right person for them to trust and work with? Okay, we're still talking about step 1 in our 5 steps, and that's planning. And as part of your plan, you need to set specific, actionable, and measurable goals for your project. Here's another question. I want you to ask yourself, what are you trying to accomplish with your project? What would constitute a successful outcome in your mind? Visualize that. And be specific. Are you trying to make a certain amount of money? Are you trying to sell a certain amount of t-shirts? Get your single reviewed by a certain music blogger? Get a certain amount of views on YouTube? Grow your mailing list by a particular number? I want you to get very specific and detailed, because that's how you get successful with your projects. A great technique we teach is how to break your goals down into smaller tasks and set deadlines and milestones so that you can start marching toward your goals and you could feel good about it, right? That's part of the strategy here. So let me give you an example. If you think creating a viral hit is all about getting lucky, it's not. I mean, there's an element of luck to everything, but let me show you behind the scenes of what goes into planning for success, big time success. A New Artist Model member, Jensen Reed, worked out a plan for the viral hit Back to the 90s that he produced with his partner, Ben Giroux, which got tens of millions of views. It may even be up close to 100 million at this point. There were a lot of moving pieces that came together over a year and a half. And if they hadn't planned it out and coordinated everything and broke it down into smaller steps, it wouldn't have come together like it did. They had co-writers involved so that they could nail the different genres from the 90s. They had about 200 people working on the project: dancers, set designers, wardrobe, musicians, and more. And they literally created a cut sheet and a storyboard that laid out all the shots they wanted for the video beforehand so that they could film the entire thing in just 2 days and save money. After this webinar, look this video up, Back to the 90s. I think you really, really enjoy it. Well, the video took off on Facebook in a matter of days, and it went viral very, very quickly. Within just a few weeks, they were getting TV appearances like this one, and they worked all that publicity to land a big-time manager in Los Angeles and more work and more opportunities for themselves. You know, I'm only describing a little part of the planning that these two put together to make this happen on the scale that it did, but I want you to understand that having a detailed plan is incredibly important. All right, now for step number 2 in 5 steps to launching your next music project. You need to take those tasks and plan that you set up in step 1 and set things in motion like a musical entrepreneur. And you do that by dividing and conquering. This is a mixture of focus, delegation, team building, communication, networking, and time management, all of those things. And without this attention to team and time management, any project is going to start running behind and missing deadlines, which is not what we want, right? There's literally no worse feeling than seeing that deadline that you set for yourself come and go with nothing to show for it. So module 2 of our program focuses on building a team to help you in how to manage your time. Here's where you think about the big picture. It's not just about releasing your next song. It's about how releasing that song puts you in a position to unlock more and more opportunities and to attract attention and grow your team. That's the way you want to think. Right off the bat, we jump into time management. And these are super important techniques for keeping your projects on track. It's about prioritizing and being smart on how you allocate your personal time so that you can focus on the things that are going to really move the needle for you instead of wasting time on stuff that's just not going to open any doors for you at all. And we give you easy exercises to go through in the first few lessons of the course that'll help you understand what you're spending your time on and how you can become more efficient and get more done. And the second part of this is about team building and networking. You know, the trick when you're first starting out is how can you inspire people to help you and to work with you? So let's take a look at the steps that we lay out in our Music Business Accelerator to help build your team and manage your time. Now, a real critical part of team building is networking. And who you network with is going to depend on what your goals are and what kind of project that you're working on. Networking is a very long process. And you start by just getting out there and meeting as many people as you can on a regular basis. A songwriter may want to build their network with co-writers. Co-writing is great because it constantly grows your network exponentially as you plug yourself into your co-writers' connections as well. A performing musician may start networking at open mics with other bands and other musicians. I mean, how can you find bands who are playing gigs in venues that you want to break into? Well, you go into those venues and you meet those bands. How can you get on their set as an opener? Well, after you get to know them, you might have the opportunity to ask them, not up front, but you build your network. Because other bands, other musicians are often your ticket to connections with venue owners and promoters and managers. So you build your network. An entrepreneur will try and build a virtual team to help them by leveraging their relationships and drawing people into their sphere. Right? Think about that. Over time, you can try and get people to formally join your team. But when you're first starting out, you know, you're going to need to try and get help from anywhere you can and start to check people out. Will they be long-term potential team members for you? Time management. What's happening to my slides here? Sorry. Something's going on here. Hang on a second, folks. Not sure exactly what's happening. Chelsea, you got any idea what's going on here?
Is it stuck?
Yeah, it seems to be stuck. Sorry about this, folks. We'll get it going here.
Let me see if I can change it.
Looks like my computer is frozen.
Can you end the presentation and start again?
No, sorry, folks. Looks like I'm having a problem with my computer here. I'm gonna restart and come back. I'm really sorry. I don't know what else to do. I'll be back. Chelsea.
Yep.
Answer some questions. I'll be back. All right, I seem to be back. Are you guys still here?
We're all still here. I hear
All
you.
right. I apologize for that. I don't know what happened. That's the first time that ever happened. Okay, so let's see. Where were we? Thank you for hanging in there, everybody. Let's keep going. All right. So, for example, time management. We're talking about time management. If you're a songwriter and you're sure that you want to make all your money from licensing your music, why would you spend a lot of time booking gigs? Think about that. It's about creating your own career, not blindly chasing, the next shiny thing or following what you think you're supposed to do or what everybody else is doing. It's about focusing on your goals. If you're a performing artist and your fans are, say, older than 30, why would you spend your time trying to book and play college gigs? Sure, they can be lucrative, but if your target audience isn't there, that's not worth your time. This is what I'm talking about with time management. It's all about relating the things you spend your precious time on back to your goals. And that's one of the secrets to time management. If you have questions about this, type them in and I will answer them later. All right. We may go a little bit more than an hour because we had this problem. All right. On to the third step to launching your next music project, and that is to research the specifics of your particular project. Now, this is going to be a little different depending on the kind of project that you're working on and what area of the business that it's in. So here's an example for a recording project. You might need to find a good studio to record in, or you might need stuff for your own studio. You might need to find a producer or an engineer or a mastering engineer, unless you can do that stuff yourself. You'll need to figure out your distribution and your promotion plan for your project and how you're going to get the music in the hands of your fans. You need to know how to copyright your songs and register them with the right agencies. This is all very top-level planning that I'm talking about here, but you want to research everything specific to the project and stay on course. So you do a little bit of homework here. If your project is to book a bunch of shows, you're going to have a completely different set of problems that you need to figure out. You need to decide where you want to play, how big your tour might be, the nature of the music you're going to play, and how that works in the venues that you're pitching. That's a huge one, people, that a lot of people never even think about. You need to make connections with venues and bookers, and you need to pitch your show. You need to figure out the logistics of going out on the road, keeping your costs down. And you need to make and rehearse a set list and organize and price your merch and manage your inventory. Those are all the things you might need to do if you're going to be doing shows. If your project is to get your music licensed, your research is going to be totally different. You need to decide what kind of placements you're going to pitch. You need to figure out who are the decision makers associated with those projects. Are you going to be going direct to music supervisors or agencies? Or are you going to try and get your music in libraries or some other method? You need a good solid pitch for your songs, as I talked about before, with relevant keywords and metadata to describe each and every song. And you need to make sure your songs are registered and cleared and ready to license. That's why in the course, we created 6 separate modules that describe all the different ways to make money in music today, to give you all the specific info that you need to make your project successful so that you don't need to start from scratch. I mean, that's why you might sign up for a program like this, right? Because we're going to make it easier for you to concentrate on your music and your career without having to figure everything out on your own. All right, you can see right here from the course, there are 2 modules focused on performance and gigging. One on booking shows, how you do that as an indie artist, and the other on merch and promoting your shows. I want to help you be the artist that everybody wants to book and work with. That's my goal. We'll also show you all the different income options in live performance and how other musicians are being successful collecting money and selling merch. Today, there are a ton of options, from traditional gigs to house concerts, college gigs, online concerts, and live streams. We'll show you all of that and how you can do it too. We'll go through choosing merch, developing designs, picking prices that'll make you the most profit, displaying your merch, and the best ways of promoting your merch and your merch table at your gigs right from the stage. That's the kind of detail that you can expect from a program like this. Next, there are 2 modules on recording, one on the studio side and one on distribution and promotion. Part of the power of our approach is that we teach you all the aspects of the music business so that as you become more experienced and your career evolves, you can evolve too. We cover all the major distribution services like TuneCore, CD Baby, DistroKid, and more. We'll show you how to distribute your music as an independent artist to your own audience and get yourself off the ground. You'll learn exactly what role record labels can and may play in your career and what the deals look like so that you know exactly what to look for and avoid when signing with a label, should you get to do that. And you'll learn how and when to pursue a label deal the right way. It's a lot of timing. You want to be ready for this. You don't want to do it too early in your career. Attracting labels at the right time as a business partner from the position of having a profitable career already that they want to invest in is the way to do it. If you do it too early, you won't make a very good deal. Okay, next there are 2 modules on licensing and publishing. One is focused in on copyright. That's how you make all the money in the music business, folks. And the other is on making licensing and publishing deals. You'll learn what copyright is all about and how to protect your music and exploit the rights that you have in your songs to your benefit. I'll show you how to get your music placed in film, in TV, in video games, on YouTube. You know, learning about the music business and understanding how it all works will make you a better musician. That's the honest truth. That's why I'm showing you all this. I mean, where else do you go to learn about the business or artist management or revenue streams or contracts or what options you actually have in different situations? This Music Business Accelerator program is designed like a musician's MBA. That's why we named it that. A crash course in the modern music business and how to excel as an indie musician. So let's move on now to the next step in launching your next music project, and that is your marketing plan. You know, when creating a marketing plan, you need to think about all the things you'll do before and after you release your project to build up buzz, awareness, and excitement. Not every project is going to be marketed and presented in the same way. That's why we have 2 modules dedicated to promoting your music, creating a marketing plan, and how to leverage social media. I mean, this is such a deep area that I can't possibly cover it all today, but I'm going to give you right now a simple set of things that you can use to start promoting your project and what is important. First, you need to nail down your target market, your niche. This is who you're selling to. So if you're a musician selling an album or singles, your target market is fans of a certain genre or style of music. Think about that. If you're a songwriter, your target market may be other recording artists or music supervisors or music libraries. That's your niche. If you're a producer, your target is other musicians looking to record their music, or maybe labels or managers. That's your niche. And when it comes to promoting, going after a niche is critical. Let's say you make rock music for video games. That's your thing. You're going to be way more successful focusing in on a fan base that loves gaming than you would be trying to appeal to, say, all fans of rock and roll. Too big of a market. Gaming is a niche. Same thing in something like licensing. If you write reggae music, you're better off finding the supervisors and companies that deal with reggae instead of trying to pitch all the supervisors out there in every possible genre. You get it? Once you understand who you're targeting, you need to figure out what you're going to share with them to get them excited about your project. So here's a technique that you can use to spread the word about your project that's very, very powerful. You know, I always recommend to my members to start promoting before your project is actually ready. And one very effective way to do that is by sharing your process, your creative process. People love to look behind the scenes. You know, what we do as musicians is very cool. So for an album, you could share footage from the studio or your rehearsals before you're releasing your song. You could stream some very early songwriting sessions, let people behind the curtain. You could let fans vote on the album art or have them, you know, help finish a lyric for you. You could share little riffs or drum beats and, you know, things that don't give away the whole song, but keeps people interested and excited. Maybe you ask them to remix some beats you make. This kind of marketing is called content marketing. And I have a bonus to tell you about in a few minutes that's all about content marketing. Instead of posting, you know, a tweet like, hey man, check out my album, you want to give your fans something entertaining and interesting that pulls them into your world and gets them thinking about you and ready for whatever it is that you're going to release and ask them to buy, right? You're going to tease them. You're going to draw them in. That works far better than, hey man, check out my new single. Another huge part of marketing is getting publicity and press. Everybody wants that, right? You need to think about how you can position yourself against all the other musicians coming out with new music. Bloggers are looking for something new and interesting for their readers. They are. Now, our approach to marketing will teach you to start thinking like a journalist and how you get in their head and how you can create a compelling story that's going to break through the noise and get their attention, because that's what it's all about. Okay, finally, step 5 in launching your next music project is budgeting your project and putting yourself in a position to make money off of it. You know, a lot of musicians I know develop this attitude like, well, you know, I'll get what I can out of it. And man, I'm telling you, that's going to make it really hard to create a sustainable income and scale your business, right? That's not how an entrepreneur thinks. You need to be aiming high enough so that you make enough money to not only cover your projects, but have some left over to invest in the next one. That's how you bootstrap your career. That's how you build a sustainable career that's not going to max out your credit card and leave you in debt. So I'm going to show you 2 of the bonus templates that we have in our Music Business Accelerator. I mean, these are super important for us to include because your finances and your budgeting, as painful as it might be, will literally make the difference between being able to do music for the long term or quitting because you're broke. Now, I mean, you can make your own spreadsheets for this, but as you can see, we already developed a bunch of finance tools for you. There's an income tracker and an expense tracker so that you see exactly what you're making and where that money is coming from and where it's going. Having everything laid out like this really gives you a lot of perspective on your career and your projects one by one. And we make it super easy for you guys because I know money and budgeting isn't the most exciting thing in the world. Inside the course, you can download these templates and just plug in your numbers and you're done. Easy as that. Okay, so now let's go through the steps as we do in the course for budgeting and funding your projects. Let's talk about that for a couple minutes. First, you need to figure out how much money your project will cost and how much you could potentially make off of it. So if your project is a tour, your expenses might look like this: travel, gear, other musicians, booking fees, etc., right? And what you pay yourself. If your project is starting a home studio, your expenses might look like this: equipment, software, any sort of specialized help or training, what it costs to set up the room, etc., and your time. Now, I want you to notice in both of these examples that part of your expenses is your own time. You have to budget for this so that you actually make money off your projects. So many people forget this. We don't. We'll show you how to make money with your music because that's what it's all about. Raising money for your projects, as I said earlier, that can be a whole project in and of itself, a crowdfunding project. And we have a whole module on fan funding and pre-selling on places like Pledge Music and Kickstarter and Patreon. This allows you to get money in upfront to cover your expenses. There's a lot that goes into a successful crowdfunding campaign or a pre-sale campaign as we walk you through it step by step. I can do a whole webinar on that sometime, but for now, let's just move on. Okay. In the last 40 minutes or so, I've given you guys the 5 steps it takes to launch a successful project in music, whatever that project may look like for you. And I showed you a little bit inside the New Artist Model Music Business Accelerator course. So I see you guys asking about the ebook, and in a few minutes, I'm going to be taking your questions, and I'm going to give you the free ebook that I promised, so don't go away. But for right now, if you follow the formula I show right here, you're going to be in really good shape with any project that you have in mind. First, plan your project and define exactly what you're doing and what you hope to achieve, and be really specific. Organize your time and explore how your network might help you succeed, right? Who do you know that might help you? Number 3, research the specific things that you need for the project to be successful. Don't just assume that you know everything. Do your homework. Develop a niche strategy for your marketing so that you can hone in on a compelling story to create a lot of buzz and interest around your project. And finally, create a budget, organize your finances to make sure that you can make money from your projects. You know, this system I'm showing you, it works. It's the system that Jensen used to get his Back to the 90s music video, tens of millions of views, which he then leveraged to sign with a big-time manager. That was part of his strategy. And it's the system that Angelia Grace here used to get over 1 million views on her film score covers on YouTube. How's that for a niche? She's done that without spending any money on ads or buying likes or followers or any of the other nonsense that you hear about online. And it's the system that Irenka, that you see here, and Saskia that I talked about earlier, and many, many others have used to quit their day jobs and focus on music full time, to release albums, to do tours, to raise money for their projects. And I'm telling you this because I want you to know that New Artist Model isn't a cookie cutter approach. It's a career development and project management program that will help you put a plan in place to reach your own unique goals in music, whatever they may be, because you guys are all different. The whole program is designed to help you take advantage of the shifting landscape in the music industry and carve out your spot in it, just like all the folks that I'm telling you about have done. These are the 12 modules in the Music Business Accelerator that we went through really quickly today. When you sign up for the program, you're going to get 12 weeks of training and tremendous detail in all of these areas, way more than we went into today, that'll turn you into an incredibly powerful and independent musical entrepreneur. And, you know, to help ensure that you get the most that you possibly can out of the course, we're going to test your knowledge at the end of the program. And once you pass, you're going to receive a certificate of completion that you can frame and hang on your wall to show all your friends that you are a New Artist Model certified musician. If you're ready to take the next step, I'm going to get to your questions in just a second. If you're ready to take the next step in your career, though, we can go through it all together in our Music Business Accelerator program. I've shown what I have for you, so let me show you what the next step might be. I got a really special deal for you that you can see right here on the screen. It's only because you're here on the webinar. And I'm telling you right now that if you go to our website and try and sign up for the Music Business Accelerator, you're going to see a much, much higher price than what you can get right now. This is 40% off the regular price and a fantastic opportunity for you to take the next step with your music. But this deal is only available for 2 days. That's it. And I mean it. After that, it's gone and the price goes up. And I know that's not a lot of time, 2 days, for you to decide to enroll. So I'm going to throw in a few extras for you because you're here, because you took the time, and because I know you're dedicated to your music. I mean, you're still here, right? So I know you're serious, And I want to make this a no-brainer for you. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so grateful. I have nearly $1,500 in bonuses to give you if you sign up at the 40% discount. Bonus number one is you get a private invite to our Indie Artist Network community. This is a private Facebook group where you can connect with indie musicians, songwriters, and producers from all around the world. It's a place to collaborate, to get instant feedback, and support one another. You know, instead of building up your own network from the ground up, why not tap into our huge community of musicians from all around the world? And I'm in the group all the time, answering questions and giving feedback. So this is literally your direct ticket to me. That's bonus number one. Bonus number two is a huge curated database of musician resources, tools, and services. We created this so that you don't have to spend months researching where to find what you need to make your dream a reality. What am I talking about here? We've compiled some of the very best email services, distribution options, website builders, the best merch companies, the most effective social media tools, all kinds of directories, tour support, basically everything you need, all organized for you and constantly updated. This will save you so much time. And bonus number three is a collection of exclusive templates, a career map that you see here, a project planner, and the budgeting templates that I showed you a little bit earlier. Right here, this is the top of the career map. This is a long document that you fill out. And I want you to think of this one as it's like a musician's business plan that you can use for all kinds of things in communicating your vision to your partners and your team. Here's the top of the project planner. This one is a template that you can use over and over again to plan out your music projects. A little bit like what I shared with you today, but way more detailed. In these planners, I ask you all the questions a good manager would ask you so that you get a plan of attack that's specifically created to launch your projects and address your personal goals. And you know, I can tell you with certainty that you're not going to find these planners anywhere else. They're proven tools to guide your projects, your career, and your success. And you know what? If you decide to join me in the course right now or within the next 60 minutes, I'll give you 60 minutes, I'm going to give you a super bonus that I talked a little bit about earlier, the Musician's Guide to Content Marketing. And you're not going to find this anywhere else either. This is a download that'll show you step-by-step how to use all the content you're already making to promote your projects and grow an audience. I'm talking about music and pictures and blog posts and stories and videos, stuff you don't even realize that you have that you can use to promote your music. You'll learn how to pull people into your world and get them excited to hear from you. You'll see how the content you post can get your audience more invested in your projects. And you'll see how it's all implemented with a lot of case studies and examples from a lot of different kinds of musicians. It's basically a whole music marketing course on its own. It's a $197 value, and you can get it for free if you sign up to the Music Business Accelerator right here on the webinar. Here's all the bonuses that I have for you if you sign up for the program right now. You know, with the regular price of the course and all these bonuses, it's like $2,000 worth of world-class online training for only $297. So please, if you're into this, go to newartistmodel.com/MBA. Sign up now and save a ton of money. Just click the button that you see in the chat. Chelsea's going to put that up in the chat. If you're ready to take the next step, here's what's going to happen. If you click through the button that's in the chat right now, or you go to newartistmodel.com/MBA, this is the page you're going to see. There's extra info here for you guys that answers just about any question you could have. You know, I'm very transparent about what I do because it's money that you're investing here, and I know money is tight, and this is an investment in yourself, so I want you to understand exactly how it works. If you're ready to purchase, just click on the buy button. You'll be taken to the checkout page. You enter your email address, which will be your login to the program. Make sure this is an email address that you actually check, because I'm going to send you occasional email to guide you through. After that, you enter your payment information. You can pay through PayPal or with a card. Click the button and you're done. Right after that, you're going to get more email confirming your purchase, your login details, and then I'm going to give you an email that will guide you through the first few lessons along with an invite to the Facebook group. You know, I want you guys to know that you get lifetime access to all of this. Your career is always evolving and growing, and I want to make sure that you have all the info that you need to move forward. A lot of our members have gone through the program 2 or 3 times. As their career changes, you're going to have that option too. Plus, we're constantly updating the course and adding new stuff like the Spotify playlist stuff I mentioned earlier and the Facebook Live stuff. And you know, if you join and you don't think the course is right for you, no problem. I'll give you your money back. Just let me know in the first 30 days. I'll give you a refund, no questions asked. You know, ultimately, your career is the most important thing. And if this isn't right for you, then no problem. It's okay with me. Just check it out. Now, imagine what will happen with you if you sign up and you take the program. You're going to develop confidence by leaps and bounds, and you're going to have a plan for success, just like our buddy Eric here has. If you want to feel less confused and lost about how the industry works, how the business works, and what you can do, I can help you with that. Sign up and look back in a year after signing up and going through all of our best training and all of these amazing bonuses, and you're going to be so much further along, and you're going to meet so many amazing people in our community. If you want to get better gigs, you want to grow your audience, you want to build your brand, then I got the strategies that'll help you. If you want to grow your following and your email list in an authentic way and find the tribe of fans that'll support you, your niche, this program can help you do that, just like our buddy Justin did. I want you to ask yourself, I'm going to get to your questions in just a second, what is your career worth? You know, we call this the Music Business Accelerator because it's a musician's MBA. It's like a musician's MBA at a mere fraction of the cost. And I guarantee that you're going to learn so much more than you ever would in any college or university. It's practical, it's affordable, and it's accessible. So go to newartistmodel.com/MBA, sign up now, click the button you see in the chat, because as soon as I sign out of this webinar, the button is gone. Remember, the super bonus is yours if you sign up right now or in the next 60 minutes. Make this your best year ever. Come join us in New Artist Model. All right. It's going to be time for questions, but before that, I promised all of you who are still here, and thank you for hanging in there, that you'd receive the free ebook with 6 strategies to launch your next album. So here it is. Go to that same page, newartistmodel.com/MBA. Scroll down toward the bottom of the page. You're going to see the picture of the guitar playing dude here. Just click on it and download the ebook, all free. I'm so grateful that you're still here today, and thank you for being here. I hope you learned some stuff. Go grab your ebook, and it's time for your questions. All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. Can you hear me, Dave?
I can hear you.
All right. First question. Many of us are completely on our own, DIY. This, combined with no budget, creates some hurdles that seem insurmountable. How can I market my music with no team and almost no budget?
Well, that's the position that nearly everybody starts out in. You want to build your fans one at a time. You want to build your fan base slowly. You want to create real fans, not bot fans or fake fans. So don't do anything silly like start advertising or buying likes or doing any sort of social media games. Share relevant content. Find people that are interested in you and your music. Talk to them. Find out, kind of what's resonating with them. How can you find more people like them? By understanding who your audience is. How can you create opportunities and contests and things where people might tell their friends about you? How can you begin to sort of snowball your career? How can you get your family and friends to help you get going? Think about, you're starting by yourself. You want to create a little circle around you of maybe your family or a couple friends, and you want to try and grow that circle. Be patient. This is a long game. People that you think that are overnight sensations and, all of a sudden, bam, they're on the radio and, they got a huge record. Most likely they've been working for years, maybe decade, before you even know about them. So be patient. You're starting in the same place that everybody else is starting in. Next question. I hope that answers it. It's sincere.
All right, Dave, I already have several critically acclaimed albums out under my own name, but I can't seem to get any traction in terms of performances. How can I get presenters to be more interested in presenting me or my project?
Well, do you have any idea who your buyers are of your albums? If you've got albums out and you can talk to those people to kind of find out more about them and what are the venues that they frequent, how can you leverage whatever audience you already have to go, play one show at a time? And again, patience is a very good thing to have here when you're in this business. Go play one show. Try and get that one show going. So you might go to that venue and meet the people that work there. You might go to other people's shows in that venue. Meet the folks that work, the bartenders, the bouncers, the other artists, their managers. Maybe they can introduce you to the promoter or the venue owner. As I showed you earlier, if you're out trying to do gigs, you need to kind of really understand what venues want to play music like you make, right? Don't go to places that are completely, not congruent with that. Do your research and figure out, okay, where's one venue I can go and get started, and use that experience, to boost your confidence. Learn a little bit more about how it all works, and then move on to the next venue. That's how it's done. Networking is a huge part of any successful music career. The more people you know, the better off you're going to be, and the more people who are going to know you. All right. What else you got?
All right. After I release a single, I want to get a financial backer. What do I do for this?
Well, you need to create a business plan that is solid and that they're going to believe in. A lot of our members have used our career map for exactly that purpose. You go through the program, you fill out the career map by basically answering all the questions I'm going to ask you. And you create a business plan like an entrepreneur, like you're a startup, right? All indie musicians are startups. And you think like a startup. How do I launch my project out into the world, right? And so if you're looking for an investor, and a lot of people are doing this, create a business plan, get a good solid recording, get a video of you performing that's really good, and then take that plan and present it. And be realistic about what you ask for in terms of an investment so that you can show your investor, this is how you're going to get a return. And so you plan it out. Use the career map, you use the budgeting tools, you follow the steps that we lay out. That's what you do.
Okay, what's the best way to go about finding a suitable manager for your band? We do a huge chunk of everything ourselves, but we want to basically start getting things that require representation. So festivals, opening for bigger acts, sync deals, etc.
Good question. Managers need to want you. So that's how you get a manager, is you get somebody to want you. A good technique to use is to go out to all the venues you can possibly go to where there are bands at your level or a little bit stretched beyond your level, and talk to them, meet them, find out if they have a manager. If so, go talk to that manager. Maybe you're not going to get signed by that first person that you meet, but you can say, hey, this is our situation. This is what we're trying to do. This is what we've accomplished so far. How would we go about finding a manager, and get their feedback, and do that over and over again with as many managers as you can get to. You'll gather information that'll help you figure out a plan. And you may meet somebody along the way that will say, I'll give it a try. That's how you do it. I saw a comment here, from somebody, hey, I have to mention, we are artists. We can't network. We can't do music. I'm telling you, if you don't get that out there and network, you are going to have an incredibly hard time. Anybody that's been successful in the music industry is a networking monster. So get over it and learn how to do it. If you want to be successful, you got to get out there. You got to get out of your room. You got to get out of your comfort zone, and you got to go meet people. I'm sorry, but I'm telling you the truth. Next.
All right. I have an album finishing next month. What should I do to get people to hear about it?
I gave you a bunch of tips about how to do this. Have you shared your process at all with whatever fan base you have? Have you started to collect email addresses, for example? Are you collecting email addresses or social handles at your shows with a clipboard or some other way? Do you have an audience that you can go out to? If you do, start sharing your process. All the things that I just went through in the past hour relating to, if you're trying to release an album, share your process. Show people behind the scenes. Make a game out of what you're doing. Make a contest out of what you're doing. Talk to people, right? Understand who your audience is. Even if you only have 5 fans, talk to all 5 of them and understand sort of what's resonating between you and them, and how can you find more people like that. That's where you start. That's how you do it. More questions.
Okay, I would like to know the best practices for promoting music on Facebook and also running ads on Facebook. Do you recommend ads? Do you not recommend ads?
I do not recommend wasting your money on buying ads on Facebook. Okay, I'm not even going to talk about it anymore. Don't do it. There are people out there that, will try and get you to do it. It might be good when you're way further on in your career and you can fill a 3,000-seat venue and you have a real audience, and you could clone that audience and you could go after it with ads and more intelligent posts and other things that you could do on Facebook. But if you're early on in your career, the last thing you want to do is waste your money buying ads on Facebook. It's just a waste of money. Build your fan base organically. Right? Go through the steps that I teach in the program. Go through the things I laid out today in the webinar. You're going to be way better off than buying likes, buying fans, playing games. I'm telling you like it is. Next.
Okay. I'm releasing an album of children's songs using modern/urban music. What opportunities do you think there might be for this type of niche?
All right, cool. So right off the bat, you're recognizing that you're in a niche. You've got children and urban. The cross there is a niche. So how can you find young families that are gonna like that kind of music? And how can you reach those families sort of indirectly? Are there events that you could go to where you're gonna play? Maybe you're going to busk there to try and initially get some attention. Or maybe you're going to try and get a gig, playing at an event that is for families. Maybe it's like, a farmer's market in town or something. I'm just talking off the top of my head, where you can meet urban families with young kids and you can turn them onto your music. That's the kind of thinking that you want to employ on any niche strategy. And if you could find a sort of a tangential way to get in there, like the farmer's market is not something that you would normally think about. Almost all farmers markets have music, and there's kids, and generally they're in an urban environment. So try something like that and start thinking along those lines to find the intersection of urban folk and young children. And you may give away some music too, and ask them, you know, if they like it, would they write back to you and send you an email? And that way you can start gathering email and communicating with those people and saying, hey, you know, do you have any friends that might like this? And, you know, would you be willing to recommend it? And you snowball your way into it. But you're lucky because you have a niche to begin with, which is great.
All right. How can an artist create their own tour, especially if they don't want to play clubs and pubs, but instead want to play shows where fans can truly listen?
Great question. House concerts is a beautiful venue for, you know, a reasonably intimate performance. Now, I don't know what kind of music you play, and house concert is not going to work for every genre of music, but if you can kind of trim your show down to an acoustic set or, you know, a very light set in terms of gear and your band, you can go begin to recruit hosts to basically host a concert in their home for you. There's a whole section on this in New Artist Model. There's webinars that we did with people like Fran Snyder from the Listening Room Network, and people like Shannon Curtis, who's built a huge career off of doing house concerts. So that's, you know, a very obvious place to go for the kind of question that you asked me. I don't know what kind of music you do, but check it out.
All right, we got a few questions about how to approach record labels to get signed.
You need
like at
to
what stage in your career.
Yeah, you need to have a fan base. You need to have an album or two out. You need to be able to book shows. You need to be able to demonstrate that you have a business around your music. If you're not there, you're not going to get signed, and it's a complete waste of your time to approach record labels until you're already up and running. You want to be in a position where, you know, you're not even sure that you want to do a record deal, because that's the only way you're going to get signed, is if you're already off the ground, you already have a business that they can accelerate, they can invest in, they can add momentum to, right? So focus on getting yourself off the ground, building your audience, releasing your own music, booking your own shows, establishing a track record, some level of predictability, and then you're going to be in a better position to attract a label or to attract a manager or to attract bigger promoters, because they're not going to accept stuff that just comes in the door or through the mail. They get it. They're deluged by stuff. You need to get them to come to you, and that's by proving that you're already successful, and that, you know, people will start talking about it. And, you know, in the program, we talk about, if you're a little bit later on in your career and you've done all those things, what are some steps that you could take? And again, it's a big networking game. Start your networking now, because somebody that you meet tonight who maybe works in the record business or in the promotion business, you know, may be able to help you a year or two from now. Not tonight. And don't, when you network with people, don't walk up to them and hand them your CD. Instead, ask them questions about what they're doing. Start getting them to talk about themselves, you know, and then you'll find a way to say, oh yeah, you know, I'm a musician and I've done this and I've done that. But don't go shoving CDs in people's faces. All right.
Keep going.
Yeah, let's take two more.
Right.
And by the way, if I don't answer your questions, you can always email me at dave@newartistmodel.com, and I'll do my best to answer your questions in the next couple of days. Depends how many emails I get. But let's take a couple more.
All right, this one just came in from Adam. If we haven't ever released any music, do you recommend releasing singles or doing the kind of traditional full album release?
I think you're better off releasing singles. It gives you multiple touch points instead of one. You know, if you're releasing an album, it's like betting the farm that you get it right. Instead, if you're releasing singles, you have a chance to improve your process as you go along. So I would suggest, you know, take your best song or take your second best song and start with that. And see how it goes and learn from the process, and then follow it with your next song, right? Don't start with your worst song, right? But start with something that's really pretty good. And that way you're going to learn from the process, and you'll gather information, and you'll build your confidence, and you'll learn, you know, what works, and more importantly, what doesn't work. All right.
Okay, how do you get gigs on a tour out of state, breaking into a different market?
All right, that's a good question. Somebody also asked, how do I open for a bigger act? I can't express how important networking is. If you want to play in bigger venues, or you want to play outside of your region, you want to meet other artists and get to know them and their management, and get them to know you. And, you know, maybe you're doing an opener for them as a favor in order to get some experience and for them to get to see you in action. And then if that band is moving to another city, you might ask them, hey, can I come along on that show? And I'll open for you because you've seen what I could do here. So trading headline is often a good way. So if you have bands that are sort of at your level, open for each other. And then as you guys tour, go along with each other. And don't be afraid to not be the first on the bill, you know, not the top bill. Don't be afraid to open for somebody, and let them open for you. And take your concentric circles around your hometown and start reaching out. Can I play, you know, the next town over using a strategy like this? Or go to those venues in that next town and hang out and meet the people, meet the other bands, meet the venue owners. See if you can get your way in there. Networking is so important. It's all about who knows you. That's it. And being the right person in the right place at the right time. It's a big, huge networking game. That's what music is all about. So get out there and do it. That's how you're going to open for a bigger act. That's how you're going to play in a city that you've never been in before. By networking and trading places.
All right, one more.
Yeah.
What are your tips for getting people to your website?
Think of a marketing funnel like this. And your website is kind of right here. The top of your funnel is social media. So try and get people from Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. Give them a reason to go to your website on the social platforms. Give them something juicy that they're going to go look for, or complete, or a contest, or something that you can think of that sort of goes along with whatever genre that you're in and whatever your music is all about. Think of the top of the funnel as sort of your social channels: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, anything else that you guys use, and get people to get into your website, get them to sign up, trading something for their email, and drive them down your funnel. So eventually they might buy something, merch, ticket, music. This is the strategy we teach in the course, It's not rocket science, but there's a very specific method to it. And, come on, join us. I'm happy to teach you. All right. I think we're going to call it a day there. Everybody, thank you very much for being with us. I really appreciate it. I hope you learned something. I'm going to just go right here for a second. Don't forget about the ebook, everybody. Let me show you where that is. All right there. Go to newartistmodel.com/MBA. You can get your ebook right there. And, hey, if you want this next year to be the best year of your life in your music career, sign up for the Music Business Accelerator. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee. We have an incredibly awesome price right now, and you get $2,000 worth of world-class music training for only $297. Remember, this price is only available for 2 days. That's it. If you have any questions or you want to know whether this is right for you, you can email me at dave@newartistmodel.com. We can try and talk through your situation. I'll try and get to your questions. Depends how many emails I get. Sometimes I get a lot after these. And don't forget that if you sign up right now or in the next 60 minutes, you're going to receive the Musician's Guide to Content Marketing. This is a whole marketing course in and of itself. It's going to teach you all the things I just talked about the funnel, about getting people to your website, about sharing content that you already have. Click the button right now and sign up, because as soon as I close out, you might forget the link and that's gone. And as I said, 60 minutes from now, this super bonus goes away. If you need a little bit more time to think about it, that's cool. I'm going to give you 2 days. But if you really want to get going, grab this super bonus and sign up right away. Before we go, I just want to say thank you to everybody for spending some time today. I hope you got a lot out of it. I hope you learned what you came here for, and I hope you can start using what you learned to launch your next music project. That's what it's all about. But right now, we're going to end the webinar. I'm going to say goodbye. I hope to see you guys next time. Thank you, Chelsea. Thank you for your questions. Thank you, everybody, for coming on. Have a great day.